Hey guys, efitter7 back here again today. We're going to be doing something a little bit different today, and I'm actually going to be doing a little how-to, a little tutorial on making some handmade trees for your layout or your diorama. These trees are made out of wire, and they actually turn out pretty nice. This video is somewhat similar to Joey Ricard with Trackside Scenery. He recently did a video on how to make quick trees. These trees aren't necessarily as quick as his, but I think the results turn out looking pretty decent, and it might be a nice little project that you try on the weekend or something you do when you have some free time or some modeling time. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll show you some of the materials that we're going to need to do this. It's a pretty simple project. It's pretty fun. Like Joey Ricard says in his videos, they can be as quick or as long as you want. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. Thanks for watching, guys. Enjoy. Okay guys, so to start things off, I'm going to go over some of the materials that you're going to need for this project. In front of us we have a little bit of sawdust. It's pretty fine. There are a few larger chunks in there, but not to worry. We have some 50-50 white glue and water mix. We also have some full strength white glue. We have an assortment of brown and black acrylic paints. We have a paintbrush for our paints and our glue. We have a chopstick or a skewer or whatever you want to use. We have some scissors, a little bit of baling wire. Any kind of wire can work. I just had this baling wire laying around. And as Joey Ricard said in his video, he uses a furnace filter, but I didn't have any of that on hand, so I improvised and I'm using a little bit of pillow stuffing. It's just very fibrous, very light and fluffy, and you can spread it out really thin. It's like polyfiber, same stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so for step one, we're going to take our chopstick or skewer. We're going to take some baling wire or whatever wire you have laying around, and we're just going to start wrapping. And you got to just wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap and wrap. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Okay guys, so now when you have your trunk prepared, you can start working on the branches. So we'll just take a little more baling wire and we'll start shaping up the rest of the armature for our tree. So I'm going to work at it a little bit, and then I'll come back to you guys and show you how it looks, and then I'll show you how exactly I'm doing that. So, okay guys, so what I've done now is I've just cut a piece of wire off the strand, off the coil of baling wire, and I'm just double backing it on itself and folding it down, and then I'll twist this up to start forming some larger branches. It's pretty simple, guys. I'm sure you can follow along. You can even work on this project while you're watching this video or something, while you're sitting at your desk. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it and find a little spot I can kind of just loop it into, and I'll spin that around a few more times and start working on the armatures. So then we'll build this up into our tree shape, and it should look pretty good. I'm going to get a little further along, then I'll get back with you guys. So the next step is we're going to be making a little paste with some full strength Elmer's glue and our wood shavings, our sawdust, and we're going to be painting it on to our armature to fill in the cracks and hide the fact that this tree is actually made of wire, and also to give it some texture and make it really come together. So I'll show you what I do to mix up our paste in the next step. Sorry about that, guys. I actually made a mistake in the previous video clip. We're actually going to be using our 50-50 mix of Elmer's glue and water. And I've got a little Tupperware lid here that I'm going to be mixing up this paste on. I'm going to start with a little bit of glue. That way I'm adding our dry elements into our wet elements. So we'll take a little glue out here and I'll just show you what we do. I take a pinch of sawdust and we'll just pinch this on here. Now you can actually tint this paste before you put it on with a little bit of paint, but I'm gonna opt to paint this a little bit later on. So as you can see, you just take the white glue and mix the sawdust in here until you get a thick, it's just like wood putty, wood filler kind of. This may seem a little bit tedious, but it's quite relaxing and I kind of enjoy it. You can kind of sit back, put some music on, or kick the TV on or something. Just enjoy yourself. It's a nice relaxing project. It's not anything too technical or too difficult, so might as well enjoy yourself. It's your modeling time, you know, might as well. If you don't get enough coverage on the first coat, you can always come back in and do a second layer. This stuff does dry fairly quick, so not to worry about that. You could probably put a hair dryer or something on this so it dries a little faster, or you can get one done and set it aside to dry while you work on twisting up another armature or two for some more trees. Okay guys, so we're back after this is dried overnight, and you can see that it looks pretty good, and there's some pretty awesome texture on here that looks a lot like tree bark. But you can also tell that there are some spots where the wire hasn't been completely covered. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix up a couple more batches of that sawdust and white glue paste, and I'm going to go ahead and apply it and see if I can get some better coverage. And after I do that, I'll come back and show you guys what we do next. Okay, so next we're going to grab some of our acrylic paints and we're going to go ahead and paint up our tree armature. In front of us I have some raw umber and some burnt sienna, as well as just a little bit of black. So I'm going to go ahead and mix up a combination of these colors and go ahead and paint up the tree. Alright guys, so here the armature is completely painted up. Now if you'll notice, it'll look pretty dark on the camera screen. It's actually a lot more brown in real life. So in Joey Ricard's Quick Trees video, he really stresses how important it is to prepare your furnace filter or polyfiber material so that you can have a lot on hand so you don't need to prepare it as you're going. So next I'm going to show you how I prepare this. I actually found a little infographic on the Model Railroad forums, how to make trees and shrubs. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that, and then I'll show you guys how I prepare my polyfiber puff. And next we'll get our fiber on the trees, and we'll show you how that works. Here we see in Joey Ricard's video how he's preparing his furnace filter. And if we come over here, here is that infographic I was talking about from Silfloor, showing you how you cut small triangle sections and apply those to your tree armature and glue those in place and then trim them to the size and shape that you desire. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how I do it and how I get it on my tree armature. And we're going to take our pillow stuffing or furnace filter or polyfiber material, whatever you're using, and we're going to just start teasing it out and preparing some to apply it to our tree. So what I'm doing is I'm just pinching some off, taking it like this, and just getting it as thin as I can. Just tease it out with your fingers as thin as you can. Have a piece maybe the area or size of your forefingers, and just set that aside. We'll pinch off another little piece. We'll just start teasing that out. Okay guys, we're getting in the home stretch of our tree project. As you can see in front of us, I prepared quite a few pieces of our polyfiber material. Next step is to get some adhesives. In front of me I have a selection of a few. First of all, we're going to need something to hold the material to the actual tree armature. Now for that, you can either use something like full strength Elmer's glue, a 3M 77 contact adhesive, or what I'm going to use is some Woodland Scenics Hobby Tack. And then after that, we're going to need an adhesive to hold on our leaf material, which is just this Woodland Scenics Fine Turf, to our polyfiber material. So for that, I'm going to just use some maximum hold hairspray. The cheaper, the stickier, the better. This is just what I had on hand, so I'm going to be using this, but I'm sure you can grab some really cheap sticky stuff from the dollar store, which would be even better. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the hobby tack onto my armature. I'm going to let that stuff start to get dry and get tacky, and then I'll get back with you guys and show you how I apply the polyfiber material. So stay tuned, guys. Okay guys, so I've given the hobby tack about 15 minutes to set up and start getting tacky. This glue initially goes on white, and then when it's ready to have things applied over it, it turns clear and becomes very tacky. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to go ahead and apply my pillow or polyfiber material while it's still a little bit wet. So not to worry, as you can tell, this can still be done when it's still a little bit wet. But it has dried to the point where it is fairly tacky. So next I'm going to go ahead and take my material and just start applying it in places. So here I'm going to start trimming the material. Anything that looks out of place or awkward, you're just going to take it and just trim it off. No real rules that you need to follow here, nothing you need to be too worried about. We're just trying to get rid of anything that looks unnatural. So any sort of knots, anything that's sticking out too much or looks out of place. And the more you do this, the better you'll get at it. Just kind of keep your eye out for anything that looks knotted up or anything that looks like it doesn't belong there, and go ahead and just trim it out with the scissors. It's not too hard. Once you're satisfied with how your tree is looking, we're gonna step outside and get rid of this funny looking white color to the polyfiber. So what we're gonna do is we're going to grab our flat black spray paint, and we're gonna go outside and hit this in a well ventilated area. Okay guys, so it's now time for the final step. We're gonna grab our maximum strength hold hairspray, and we are going to spray up our tree armature. We're going to really soak it, and then we're going to go ahead and grab our Woodland Scenics fine turf, and we're going to sprinkle this on top, and that's what's going to create our leaves. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this, guys, and I'll sprinkle some ground foam on it. These steps are pretty straightforward, so I don't really feel that I need to show it. But just make sure you get a good saturation of hairspray on your polyfiber material, and make sure you sprinkle an ample amount of your fine turf on top of this, and have a little bin or something so you can catch your excess, because you can always collect it back up and use it again later for other trees or other projects. So here's the final tree, guys. Came out very nice. You can see that the flat black spray paint has added some nice shadows, and the polyfiber has given some nice fine branch and leaf detail, and it looks really good. I'd like to give a big thanks to Ron Paris for motivating me to get this video done. It's been very fun. It's a pretty nice, simple project. It can be done in a weekend, and the results turn out very nice. I'd also like to give another big thank you to Joey Ricard of Trackside Scenery for giving me some tips and techniques, and sharing his technique for this and allowing me to adapt it and make my own technique. So if you guys liked the video, please leave me a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. Any questions or general comments are always welcome. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.